So you have to look at all of those variables differently.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to say stats in the U.S., but you also have to go a little bit further and say, if you're in California, you're interested in California real estate, you got to look at California separately and a little differently
Right.
for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, we got lots of regulations here that slow things down for building. We got lots of things that are not beneficial to energy, like these refineries and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But let's just see what we can do here to help buyers.
Right.
So buyers, the number one thing is you got to be prepared. Have a plan. Number one, and I'll just lay out a couple little things. Figure out your net worth.
Yeah.
Know where you're at. Take a snapshot. Just set the table where you're at financially. Take your assets, take your liabilities, subtract your liabilities from your assets, and whatever's left over, that's your net worth. So and for a lot of people say, well, I don't really have a net worth, but I got $3,000 in my savings. Okay, well, that's your net worth.
That's your net worth, yeah. So start there.
You got to start somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. And then the second thing that you do is you eliminate your high interest debt. So like these credit cards.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You gotta pay those down.
Pay those
Get
down,
them off.
get rid of those. And
But before you continue on that,
okay.
Here's something also to think about though. I recently had a transaction this last year where the two people qualified for a home loan, but the husband really he never had a credit card. And so he didn't really have he didn't really have any credit. He didn't have bad credit. And the wife had not great credit, but enough credit for them to qualify, by the skin of their teeth. But there was solar on the house. So we were in contract going to close on this house. And then this solar comes up where you have to qualify for solar. This is a big, big thing here in California. Solar, everyone's got solar on the roof, right? But here they're qualifying for a home. They didn't qualify for the solar. So what are they going to do? Buy a house that they don't own the solar and then the seller just continues to own the solar on someone else's house? No. So it was a real tricky situation.
You got to really be careful with solar here.
And that could be a whole other podcast in and of itself. But the point is that you want to bring your balance down on your credit cards, but also credit cards can work for you. When I went on this trip to Costa Rica, 4 out of the 8 people, so half of the people I traveled with, had their entire trip paid for off of points from their credit cards. So
we're going to a family reunion
for $11. We're spending $11 to fly on like 4 different
less than a
flights.
Hamburger in Benicia.
Yes, because of credit card points. So
you use it wisely.
Yeah. So that is something I think that people need to realize, that yes, you need to cut down on debts and that kind of thing, but you also can use credit cards to your advantage, and that's how you build a credit score.
Some people might not even have a credit card,
right?
And so you start there. But if
a secured credit card's a great way to go. Get a secured card that you basically preload it with $500, and then once it's so that way
at least you get your credit going.
Yeah.
But let's take it a step further. So you figure out your net worth, whatever that is. You go, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm at $10. I'm at $100. I'm at $100,000. I got $1 million net worth. I got a $10 million. Whatever it is, that's your starting place right there. And then, and depending upon again where you are, launching off into getting that debt paid down. And then number 3, this is really important. I don't think many people give this much thought, but budgeting, and these are just some guidelines, and they're less conservative than what I really like, but I'll put it out there. 50% of your income, right, is going to go to your essentials. That's your rent, your mortgage, your car payments, your food, that type of stuff. 30% is going to go to your wants. Okay, and I'm going to set that aside for a minute and say 20% goes to savings, with this caveat, and that is that, you know what, like somebody asked me, they said, when I put this out on a little video, and somebody responds and says, hey, what if I invest my 20%? Well, yes, that's what you want to do.
Right.
Buying a house is not only providing shelter and a good living environment for your family, but it's a good investment.
Yes, a good investment.
So you take that 20%, and that is going to eventually be your nest egg for investment, whatever it's buying a house or whatever.
Yeah.
So having said that, what about that 30%? is it worth putting off that shiny object, whatever that you want, right? And taking a lion's share of that and putting it into your savings and building your savings up at 25%, maybe 30, maybe the whole thing, maybe 35, 40%. But you take 50% for your essentials, more or less, take that 30% for your wants, 20% for your savings. And then what you do with that is you be consistent. And once you get that 20% rocking and you got some money in there, then you've got something to work with. And that's great advice for buyers right now.
Yeah.
Don't worry about, I don't have any money. And your mindset is, I'll do it next year or 5 years from now. No, get prepared now and put your plan forward
move the needle.
with that kind of mindset. It might be 6 months. It might be a year. It might be 5 years. But at least you're
you gotta get a
starting
plan.
somewhere.
Yeah. A good friend of mine was saying, like, I don't even know where to start. And I said, well, a really great place to start is actually talking with a lender to go through an application process.
Right.
And just because they'll be able to do a soft pull, get your credit score, and be able to tell you, like, this is the plan you need to clean stuff up. That's a zero risk way for you to know a snapshot of where you're at.
Yeah.
And then if it is a 5-year plan, actually, then you link it with a realtor or with a financial planner, and that's how you then start to